Seeker of abundance, there exists within you a golden key, the power of visualization, a sacred faculty that can draw to you the very treasures of the universe. Life is not a game of chance. It is a divine orchestration of thought, belief, and unwavering knowing. The world may say, the lottery is luck. But Spirit whispers, your word, your image, your vision is the law. When you stand in the quiet of your own mind and behold your good as already yours, you are not wishing, you are creating. You are not hoping, you are commanding. In the invisible realm, every desire already exists, complete and radiant, waiting only for your recognition. The moment you dare to see it in the theater of your imagination, the universe begins its sure and silent work. It aligns time, people, and circumstance as effortlessly as the sun rises. To win is not to struggle. To win is to know. To win is to see before the world sees. When you fix your inner eye upon your prize, the winning numbers, the victory, the joy of it already accomplished, you are engraving your destiny upon the unseen tablet of divine substance. Most souls stumble because they pray with their lips, yet doubt in their hearts. They reach for good with trembling fingers rather than with a kingly hand. But you must stand as one who knows their royal inheritance. The abundance of the universe is not locked away. It is streaming constantly, like a mighty river, waiting for your word to give it direction. When you speak your vision with certainty, when you hold the picture without wavering, when your inner sight is sharper than the world's doubt, you summon miracles as naturally as breath. There is a great law that responds, not to confusion, but to clarity. It moves not for the hesitant, but for the one who sees with the inner eye and claims with authority. In this sacred art, the lottery is not an impossible dream. It becomes a symbol, a sign, of how quickly and precisely Spirit can deliver when you align thought and faith. Each number, each sequence, each detail is already written in the divine mind. As you quiet the chatter of fear and tune into that higher frequency of certainty, the picture grows luminous, the path opens, and what was once a distant hope becomes a living reality. This is not mere wishing. This is commanding the invisible with the authority of your own divine nature. The world may call it luck, but those who know the law call it alignment. They know that when vision is pure and word is steadfast, nothing can resist its manifestation. When you learn to see not with your eyes, but with your spirit, the game is no longer outside of you, it is one within. Long before the numbers are ever drawn, to see it first within, before it appears without, is to understand the hidden architecture of manifestation. All creation begins in the invisible, long before it takes shape in the visible world. The mind is not a passive instrument. It is the blueprint, the sacred workshop where the unseen becomes substance. When the heart holds an image with unwavering certainty, the outer world begins to rearrange itself to match that inner picture. To visualize with power is not to daydream aimlessly, but to impress upon the deep mind the exact pattern of what you desire, so clearly and vividly that it feels more real than the current moment. There is an inner eye, a divine lens, through which you can behold things not yet born to the senses. When you close your physical eyes and open this inner sight, you step into the realm of infinite possibility. Every image held there with conviction is like a seed planted in fertile soil. It does not question how the harvest will come, it only knows it must. When you hold the vision of your winning moment with the calm authority of one who knows, not hopes, the universe begins its precise, silent movement. All things needed to fulfill the image start aligning. The outer world is a mirror. It reflects the inner picture, not the fleeting thought, but the deep, steady impression. If the inner image is blurred by doubt, the reflection will be uncertain. But when the inner picture is sharp, vibrant, and unwavering, the outer mirror must yield to its form. It cannot resist. It has no will of its own. The inner image commands, the outer obeys. That is the hidden law so few understand. People wait for the outer to show them a sign before they believe, but the wise believe first, and the sign follows. To see it first within requires discipline of thought. The mind must be trained to dwell only upon the picture of fulfillment. It must refuse to feed upon fear, hesitation, or lack. The moment you accept the image of victory as already yours, your vibration shifts. Your entire being aligns with that reality, and unseen currents respond. Doors open, timing adjusts. People and events fall into perfect rhythm. This is not chance. This is the invisible law made visible. You may sit quietly and let your inner eye paint the scene in detail. Feel the weight of the ticket in your hand, the thrill of the winning moment, the sound of celebration, the scent of the room, the beating of your heart as certainty fills you. These sensations are not idle imaginings, they are the language of creation. When you feel it as real, you impress it deeply upon the subconscious, and what is impressed must express. The subconscious does not argue, it does not question if it is possible. It receives the image as fact and sets the entire universe in motion to bring it forth. This inner seeing must be practiced with reverence and authority. The more often you return to the inner vision, the stronger its imprint becomes. The stronger the imprint, the faster the outer world reshapes itself to match it. Doubt scatters the seed, certainty roots it deep. You are the sower of every outcome in your life, and the soil of the invisible is always fertile. Whatever you plant in it with feeling and faith must rise. Most people look to the world to show them proof before they allow themselves to believe. They stare at numbers, odds, or statistics and let that dictate their faith. But this is like demanding a reflection appear in the mirror before you stand before it. The mirror reflects only what is placed before it. So too does the universe reflect only what you hold within. If you hold lack, you see lack. If you hold victory, you meet victory. The mirror is never at fault. It is only the image you offer it. The secret is not to strain, not to force, but to rest in the absolute knowing that the inner image is the cause and the outer is the effect. You do not chase the effect, you cultivate the cause. This is the place of true power. When your inner sight is steady, the outer world must follow like a shadow follows form. This is why visualization is not a game of chance, but a law of cause and effect, as real and precise as gravity. To see it first within is to step out of the world of uncertainty and into the realm of command. You are no longer a beggar asking for proof, you are a creator setting the pattern. You need not explain how it will come, for that is the work of the unseen forces. Your only task is to hold the vision with clarity, to see it so completely that no doubt can enter. The clearer the inner vision, the quicker the outer alignment. When you learn to close your eyes to the noise of the world and open them to the stillness of your spirit, you find that what you desire is already waiting in the invisible, whole and perfect. You are not trying to make it happen, you are simply allowing it to reveal itself. The inner image is the invitation, the outer reality is the response. Every great manifestation begins as a whisper in the inner chamber of the mind before it becomes a roar in the world. This seeing is not the fragile seeing of a wish, but the firm seeing of a decree. When kings and queens of old gave their word, they did not wonder if their command would be carried out. So must you hold your vision as a royal decree issued into the unseen. The moment you speak it within, the unseen begins its movement. To see it first within is to trust the invisible more than the appearance, to rest in certainty while the world catches up. The outer world may still look unchanged as your inner vision blazes like a torch, but appearances are the last to move. The roots grow beneath the soil before the sprout breaks through. This is why patience is not waiting in fear, but standing in calm knowing. The unseen work is already underway. Each time you return to the inner picture, you water the seed. Each moment you feel it real, the roots deepen. Eventually, the unseen becomes seen, not as a miracle, but as an inevitable unfolding. The vision held steadfast is the seed. The outer manifestation is the harvest. Those who look only at the outer world will call it luck, but you will know it was born in the inner temple of your imagination. This is the law of seeing first within. the unshakable foundation upon which all manifestations stand. It is the way the unseen world speaks into form, the way desire becomes reality, the way the game is won before the numbers are ever revealed. To speak your vision as law, not as wish, is to rise above the trembling language of hope and step into the royal language of certainty. Words are not idle sounds drifting into space. They are commands to the unseen, declarations to the substance of the universe. The spoken word is creative power in motion. Every word you utter with conviction carves a path through the invisible and shapes the outcome in the visible. When you speak as though what you desire is already fact, the universe bows to that decree. It does not argue, it moves, it aligns, it obeys. To wish is to plead, to speak as though something is out of reach, to place yourself beneath the thing you desire. But to declare as law is to stand in authority, to speak as one who already possesses, to issue your words like a king's seal upon a royal command. The energy of wishing is soft and uncertain. It drifts and fades, but the energy of declaring is sharp, clear, and irresistible. It carries weight, it carries dominion. It tells the universe exactly what shape to take. Every moment you open your mouth, you give shape to your reality. Many speak casually, not realizing that their words are living seeds. A seed of doubt grows just as surely as a seed of faith. A seed of lack grows just as quickly as a seed of abundance. The soil of the unseen does not discriminate. It receives whatever you plant. If your words are laced with fear, it reflects fear. If they are charged with authority, it reflects power. To speak your vision as law is to stop scattering uncertain seeds and begin planting with deliberate mastery. You do not need to shout. The power does not lie in volume, but in vibration. A whisper spoken with conviction is mightier than a loud cry spoken in doubt. It is the inner authority behind the word that moves mountains. When you speak your winning moment as though it is already done, the vibration of certainty radiates through your being. That vibration becomes your signal to the unseen, and the unseen responds with precision. The outer world cannot resist a word spoken as law. When you declare, you must speak in the present, not in the language of delay. To say, "I will," is to push it into tomorrow. To say, "I have," is to anchor it in now. The unseen moves through the present, not through the distance of a future hope. The moment you speak as though it is already yours, something shifts. The outer world may appear unchanged, but the foundation beneath it begins to move. The spoken word is the hammer striking the unseen stone, shaping it into form. It is not enough to think in silence and then undo it with weak speech. Thought is the mold, but the spoken word sets the mold in motion. It gives life to the vision. Each time you declare your vision, you are not begging for it to come, you are commanding it to manifest. The universe responds to authority because authority is aligned with the law of creation. When you speak with doubt, the command is unclear. When you speak with certainty, the command is law. The words must be clean and exact, untainted by hesitation. To say, "I hope I win," is to cast a shadow of uncertainty. But to say, "I have received my winning," is to proclaim a fact to the invisible. The invisible hears no difference between what is seen and unseen. It accepts the command and builds the bridge between where you stand and what you have declared. Your words are the blueprint. Your conviction is the foundation. There are unseen forces listening, not with ears but with vibration. They do not hear the literal sound of your words, they feel the energy that rides upon them. A wavering tone reveals a wavering heart. A steady tone reveals an unshakable knowing. When your inner belief and spoken word match perfectly, manifestation accelerates. There is no conflict, no delay, no doubt. The outer world follows the line of least resistance, and your command becomes fact. It is wise to speak your vision often, not in a restless repetition born of fear, but in a calm, rhythmic decree that reinforces your dominion. Each word spoken with certainty strengthens the invisible structure of your reality. Like a sculptor striking the marble with precision, each word chips away at the unseen block until the masterpiece emerges. The moment of outer manifestation is only the final unveiling of what your words have already shaped. Many speak their vision like a question, hoping the universe will answer. But the universe does not answer questions. It responds to declarations. It does not move for the unsure. It moves for the commander. It mirrors the language it is given. If you speak as though you are waiting, it gives you waiting. If you speak as though you have received, it delivers the reality of that receipt. To speak as law is to speak as if the invisible is already visible, as if the unseen is already in your hand. This requires a certain stillness within, a certainty that does not depend on appearances. Appearances may contradict your declaration, but they hold no power over a word spoken in authority. The world of appearances is slow to move compared to the swiftness of the spoken decree. The spoken word travels like lightning into the unseen, and the seen slowly bends to its shape. Those who trust appearances speak weakly, but those who trust the word speak with power. When you speak your vision, you must feel it resonate through every cell of your being. It is not mere recitation, it is embodiment. Your breath carries the word, your tone carries your faith, your vibration carries your command. You are not merely saying words, you are shaping the unseen fabric of reality. Every statement made with authority is like a stake driven into the ground of the invisible, marking your territory, declaring, "This is mine now." To speak as law is to accept no contradiction. If doubt arises in the mind, it must be silenced with the word. You speak over fear until it bows. You speak over hesitation until it dissolves. The word is the sword that cuts through all resistance. It has no rival except your own uncertainty. When your speech no longer carries the tremor of wishful thinking, but the steady rhythm of divine command, everything begins to fall into place. This is not arrogance, it is alignment with the law of creation. All great manifestations begin with a spoken decree. Empires were built on words. Movements were born from declarations. Lives were transformed when a single voice said, "So it is." You are not separate from this power. It lives in your mouth, waiting for you to use it with purpose. To speak as law is to stop asking for permission and begin issuing the command. When the world sees your manifestation, it may call it chance. It may call it luck. But you will know it was the invisible law answering the call of your voice. You will know the words you spoke shaped the path beneath your feet. You will know that your command went forth long before the outer evidence arrived. This is the nature of true speech. Not the frail words of a beggar, but the unwavering decree of a creator. Every time your lips form the words of certainty, the unseen rearranges itself around your vision. People appear, circumstances shift, doors open, paths clear. Not because you pleaded, but because you commanded. The universe understands the language of law, not the language of wish. When you finally speak your vision with the authority of one who knows, the outer world must align. It cannot do otherwise. The word has been spoken, and what is spoken in authority sets creation in motion. To hold unwavering faith in the unseen is to anchor yourself in the quiet certainty that the invisible is more real than the shifting appearance of the visible. Faith is not fragile hope. Faith is not a trembling wish. Faith is the steady flame that does not flicker, no matter how strong the winds of doubt may blow. When you hold unwavering faith, you stand in a realm where the outcome is already accomplished, even if the world around you seems untouched. Faith does not wait for proof, it creates proof. Faith does not beg for signs, it is itself the sign. The unseen is the birthplace of everything that has ever come to pass. Every structure, every invention, every fortune, every transformation began in that silent dimension where only the faithful can see. To the one without faith, it is nothing. To the one with faith, it is everything. It is substance before it becomes form, the promise before the manifestation. To trust the unseen is to trust the deeper law that governs all things, the law that responds not to fear, not to doubt, but to unwavering certainty. Doubt is loud, but faith is steady. Doubt demands evidence, but faith creates it. Doubt looks to the world for permission, but faith issues the decree. When you hold unwavering faith, appearances lose their grip on you. You no longer measure your destiny by what your eyes can see, but by what your spirit already knows. Faith does not chase after the visible. Faith knows the visible is merely the echo of the unseen, and what is held firmly in the unseen must eventually echo in form. There is a power in silent, steadfast belief that shakes the foundation of the visible world. While others waver, the one who holds faith remains unmoved. The outer world may shift like sand, but the inner conviction stands like stone. When faith is anchored, the movement of circumstances becomes irrelevant. Delays lose their sting, obstacles lose their weight. Because faith does not depend on appearances, it cannot be shaken by them. To hold unwavering faith is to make the unseen your home. You wake with the quiet, knowing that your vision is already alive in a higher dimension. You speak, act, and move as though it has already arrived. You are no longer a seeker, you are a receiver. Faith wraps you in a stillness that the outer noise cannot disturb. It becomes a fortress around your mind, shielding you from the arrows of doubt. Faith is not blind. Faith sees more clearly than the eyes ever could. It sees through the veil of appearances into the eternal order beneath. Where others see impossibility, faith sees certainty. Where others see delay, faith sees perfect timing. Where others feel lack, faith sees overflowing abundance. To hold unwavering faith in the unseen is to look directly at the invisible and call it real. To refuse to bow to appearances and to declare with your entire being, "It is already done." This kind of faith cannot be borrowed. It must be built. It grows in the soil of repetition, vision, and inner knowing. Each time you return to the picture of what you desire and choose faith over fear, your root deepens. Each moment you refuse to flinch at the appearance of delay, your trunk strengthens. Each declaration spoken from unwavering belief becomes another branch of your inner tree. Soon, your faith becomes a living structure that nothing can shake. Many people hold faith as long as circumstances appear favorable, but when the wind shifts, their faith wavers. True power begins where appearances contradict your vision. It is in that space that unwavering faith stands alone, radiant, untouched. This is the turning point. The unseen is not moved by outer storms. It waits for your inner stillness. When you refuse to waver, when you remain anchored in knowing, the outer world is forced to yield. Faith is not a feeling that comes and goes. It is a state of being that you choose. The outer world may whisper, "It's not happening." Doubt may scream, "It's too late." But faith stands in quiet silence and answers, "It is already mine." That silence is more powerful than 1,000 cries of fear. That silence commands. That silence holds. That silence moves the unseen into the seen. The unseen is rich with endless possibilities. To the wavering, it remains a mystery. To the faithful, it becomes a wellspring of certainty. When you hold unwavering faith, you are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are living in the reality of it already done. Your faith becomes the bridge that connects the invisible vision to visible manifestation. You no longer question when or how, you simply know. Unwavering faith creates a magnetic force. It draws to itself everything that aligns with its vibration. People, circumstances, and events begin to move in ways beyond conscious calculation. To those on the outside, it may seem like coincidence or luck, but to the one holding faith, it is the natural order of things. Faith does not struggle to attract, it simply allows. It holds the space, and the universe fills it. To hold unwavering faith in the unseen is to become untouchable by fear. It does not mean fear never whispers. It means fear has no power to sway you. When fear knocks, faith does not answer. When appearances threaten, faith remains unmoved. This unshakable position is what bends reality. The outer world can only mirror the inner state, and when the inner state is unbreakable, the outer must conform. In moments of silence, when no one is watching, when nothing seems to move, faith is the invisible companion that whispers, "Keep standing." It does not need evidence because it is evidence. It does not require proof because it is proof. It does not bow to time because it lives outside of time. The unseen is timeless, and faith is the language through which it speaks. This kind of faith is not born overnight. It is built each time you choose trust over doubt, each time you anchor in certainty when appearances urge panic. Each test is an opportunity to strengthen your roots. Each storm is a chance to prove that nothing can move what is already settled in the unseen. The stronger your faith becomes, the less power the outer world holds over you. Unwavering faith is not loud, but it is unbreakable. It does not perform for others. It is not concerned with convincing anyone. It is a quiet conversation between your soul and the invisible. It is the still nod that says, "I know," when everything else shouts, "You can't." It is the unspoken command that turns the tide without lifting a hand. It is the invisible anchor beneath the surface of the storm. When you hold unwavering faith, you stop negotiating with appearances. You no longer ask, "When will it come?" because you know it has already come. The unseen is more real to you than the seen. You walk with a posture of certainty. You speak from completion. You think as one who has already received. This vibration cannot be faked, and it cannot be ignored by the universe. Unwavering faith is the greatest force you can wield because it aligns you with the eternal order of creation. Everything in the visible world must eventually yield to it. The law is precise and unchanging. What is held in faith must become form. What is believed without wavering must appear. It may take time for the outer shell to crack, but the seed planted in faith is already alive beneath the surface. Faith is the invisible foundation upon which all manifestations rest. Without it, words are empty, visions are unstable, and declarations fade. With it, every word becomes law, every vision takes root, every declaration sets the universe in motion. To hold unwavering faith in the unseen is to hold the power of creation itself. It is the key that turns unseen into seen, silence into sound, desire into reality. It is the quiet certainty that bends the fabric of the visible world without force or struggle. To align thought, word, and feeling is to gather the scattered strands of your power and weave them into a single unbreakable current. Most people think one thing, speak another, and feel something entirely different. Their energy is divided, their signal to the universe is blurred, and their manifestations are uncertain. But when thought, word, and feeling become one, the message sent into the unseen is sharp as a blade. It is not mixed with hesitation. It is not clouded by contradiction. It moves through the invisible like a clear beam of light, and creation cannot ignore it. Thought is the blueprint, word is the command, and feeling is the life force that animates the command. If one is weak, the structure collapses. If one contradicts the others, the universe receives confusion, not clarity. To align these three is to become a master of deliberate creation. It is the state where what you think matches what you speak, and what you speak flows in harmony with what you feel. There is no division in your being. You are one clear vibration, one unwavering declaration, one complete force moving through the unseen. Many think of what they desire but speak against it. They entertain dreams in silence, yet give their doubts voice. They imagine wealth and speak of lack. They visualize victory and declare defeat. The unseen listens not only to what you think, but to the vibration carried by your words and the current flowing through your feelings. It does not separate them. It reads the harmony or disharmony between them. A house divided against itself cannot stand, and a manifestation divided in energy cannot form. Thought alone is not enough. A thought without spoken word and feeling is like a seed left on a rock. It holds potential but never takes root. Words alone are not enough either. Words without matching thought and feeling are hollow shells. The universe feels the emptiness behind them. Feeling alone can be powerful, But if it is tangled with contradicting thoughts and words, it becomes scattered energy. Manifestation requires all three to march in step like a single army, not wander like three strangers. When your thought says, I have, your word must echo, I have, and your feeling must hum with the quiet joy of already having. That is the state of alignment. In this state, you no longer send out mixed signals. You no longer pray one way and fear another. You no longer build with thought and tear down with word. You stand in unity within yourself, and this unity is power. The unseen does not question or delay when it receives a clear, harmonious signal. Thought is the beginning of all creation. It is the image drawn upon the canvas of the invisible. When your thought is fixed on your vision with clarity and certainty, you shape the unseen with precision. Word gives this thought a voice. It declares it into existence. It turns the silent picture into a command. And feeling breathes life into the command. It charges the declaration with vitality, like wind filling the sails of a ship. Without feeling, words are dry, and thoughts remain idle sketches. With feeling, they become living forces moving through the invisible. Feelings are the language the universe understands most directly. You may speak many words, but the feeling behind them reveals the truth. If your words say, I have, but your feeling whispers, I doubt, the unseen will respond to the whisper, not the word. The vibration of your emotion is stronger than the sound of your speech. This is why alignment requires more than reciting phrases. It requires bringing your inner state into harmony with your declaration. This alignment does not come by chance. It is a deliberate act of mastery. You train your mind to hold the vision without wavering. You choose your words carefully, speaking only what affirms the vision. You nurture the feeling of already possessing the outcome. This creates a steady current, a rhythm between thought, word, and feeling that grows stronger with each repetition. The more often you return to this harmony, the more powerful your signal becomes. Many waver because their emotions betray their words. They speak affirmations but carry a current of fear beneath. They declare abundance but hold tight to the feeling of lack. This contradiction dilutes the power of their creation. The universe does not respond to empty speech, but to the unified energy behind it. When you speak what you truly feel and think, the vibration is strong and the response is swift. To align thought, word, and feeling is to stop living in fragments. It is to stop sending out one message with your mouth and another with your heart. The invisible cannot respond to confusion, it must have clarity. A confused command delays manifestation, not because the universe is unwilling, but because the signal is tangled. Alignment is clarity. It is a single flame burning steadily, not a flickering light tossed by the wind. This alignment is like tuning an instrument. If one string is off key, the entire melody falters. But when each string is tuned to the same note, the music flows effortlessly. Thought must be tuned to certainty. Word must be tuned to declaration. Feeling must be tuned to possession. Together they create a melody so clear that the unseen responds as if it had no choice. This is not force, it is harmony. When your inner state is aligned, even silence becomes a command. You no longer need to shout your vision into the world. The steady vibration of your being becomes enough. People begin to appear. Opportunities unfold. Circumstances shift without visible struggle. This is the quiet power of alignment. It is invisible to the eye but unmistakable in its effects. You may practice this alignment by returning to the image of your desire in thought, speaking it aloud with conviction, and then letting the feeling of it already being yours fill your body. This creates an inner circle of power. Thought creates, word commands, feeling seals. When this circle is unbroken, no force can delay the unfolding of what you have declared. The universe mirrors what you are, not what you pretend to be. Alignment makes you a perfect reflection of your vision. This state requires vigilance. Stray thoughts must be caught before they scatter the current. Careless words must be silenced before they undo the work of your declarations. Negative feelings must be soothed and redirected. This is not repression, It is mastery. You become the keeper of your inner alignment, not its victim. You guide your energy like a sculptor shaping marble. As the alignment grows stronger, you no longer question the timing of your manifestation. You know the signal has been sent clearly and completely. The universe responds to clarity like iron to a magnet. The waiting ceases to feel like waiting. It becomes quiet expectancy, the kind that knows the result is inevitable. The outer world must yield to the inner command that has been sent in harmony. When thought, word, and feeling move as one, doubt has no place to live. Contradiction has no soil to grow in. You walk with the steady confidence of someone whose vision is not in question. This alignment becomes a living force within you, a silent current that bends reality to match the inner image. You no longer chase, you no longer plead. You simply are, in harmony with what is already yours in the unseen. This is the hidden strength of alignment. It is not noisy, yet it is absolute. It does not rely on luck, yet it draws fortune with precision. It does not beg the universe to act, it speaks with the voice of one who knows the universe is already responding. Alignment is the secret behind every effortless manifestation, the invisible key that unlocks the visible result. When thought, word, and feeling speak in one voice, the unseen answers. It cannot do otherwise. To claim your good as already yours is to step out of the waiting room of life and take your rightful seat at the table of abundance. Most people ask, beg, and plead for what they desire, as though the universe is a reluctant giver. But the truth is that every good thing exists already in the unseen, waiting for recognition, not negotiation. When you claim your good, you are not trying to convince the universe to give it to you. You are simply accepting what has already been prepared. Claiming is ownership in the invisible, and ownership in the invisible precedes possession in the visible. This is the difference between hoping and knowing. Hoping keeps the desire at a distance. Knowing pulls it into the present. To say I will have is to live in tomorrow. To say I have is to bring tomorrow into today. When you claim, you move beyond the language of lack into the vibration of fulfillment. You no longer see yourself as someone trying to receive. You see yourself as one who has already received. The shift is subtle but mighty, for the universe responds not to longing but to certainty. To claim your good is to remove the gap between you and what you desire. It is to act, think, and feel as if the thing you seek is already part of your life. The mind does not know the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. The moment you claim, the unseen begins to adjust to match your inner state. Circumstances bend, timing aligns, opportunities surface, not because you are forcing the universe, but because you have accepted the reality of what is already yours. Many live in a perpetual state of waiting. They wait for a sign, for luck, for a perfect moment. But claiming requires no waiting. Claiming is a quiet, absolute decision. It is standing up within yourself and saying, "This is mine now." It is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is not demand, it is acceptance. What you claim in the unseen becomes your anchor, and the outer world has no choice but to follow. Claiming your good does not depend on evidence. Evidence arrives after the claim, not before it. If you wait for proof to believe, the claim is weak and easily shaken. But when you believe without proof, the claim becomes a law. The unseen begins to weave the outer pattern in response. Your claim is the stamp that seals the vision. It is the quiet authority that says, "This is done," even if nothing outside seems to have changed yet. To claim your good is to speak, move, and feel from the position of possession. When you claim, you no longer ask questions like when or how. Those questions belong to the uncertain. You declare with finality. You occupy the reality before it manifests. You walk as the owner, not the seeker. You are no longer outside looking in, you are inside, living the reality of your claim. The claim is made in the present moment. It cannot be postponed. You cannot claim tomorrow what must be claimed today. The unseen responds to now, not later. Each time you return to the vibration of already having, your claim strengthens. It becomes like a flag planted in the ground of the invisible, a marker that cannot be moved by doubt or delay. Claiming is not loud, but it is absolute. It does not need to convince, it does not need to prove. It simply is. It stands like a mountain, unaffected by appearances. Even if nothing seems to move on the outside, the claim remains unshaken. This is its power. The universe responds to unshakable claims because they carry the vibration of completion, not the vibration of need. Many speak of what they desire as if it is far away. They say someday, one day, if I'm lucky. These words keep the good suspended in the distance, always waiting, never arriving. But the one who claims says now. The one who claims understands that possession in the unseen is the beginning of possession in the seen. The world calls it faith, but it is more than faith. It is ownership. Ownership carries weight. To claim your good is to shift your identity. You no longer identify as someone chasing what you want, you identify as someone who already lives it. Your thoughts begin to reflect this new identity. Your words become statements of fact, not requests. Your feelings align with the joy of already having. This alignment creates a magnetic field that draws the visible into harmony with the invisible claim. When you claim something, you make it part of your self-concept, and the outer world can only mirror what is held in your concept of self. If you claim wealth, you begin to walk like one who has it. If you claim victory, you speak like one who has already won. If you claim abundance, you think and act from abundance. The unseen matches this inner state with outer evidence, not because you forced it, but because you owned it. Claiming is not the same as wishing. Wishing looks outward, claiming looks inward. Wishing waits, claiming accepts. Wishing is uncertain, claiming is final. When you claim, you no longer need to repeat desperate affirmations. You speak once with certainty and your actions follow that certainty. You do not chase the thing. You stand still in the knowledge that it is already yours. This is why claiming is so powerful. It bypasses doubt entirely. The claim must be felt as real. Words alone will not suffice. If you claim with your mouth but deny it in your heart, the claim is hollow. But when your feeling wraps around the claim like a seal, it becomes unbreakable. You live as though the unseen has already become the seen. That vibration is unmistakable to the universe. It commands response without force. Claiming your good is also an act of release. When you claim, you let go of striving. You stop trying to make it happen and allow it to unfold. Ownership does not beg. Ownership does not chase. Ownership stands. This standing is not passive. It is alive with quiet certainty. It is a posture that says, I already have it. And the world around you slowly rearranges itself to reflect that truth. This way of claiming is not bound by time. Time becomes a servant to the claim, not its master. Those who wait are subject to time. Those who claim make time bend to their vibration. Delays may appear, but they cannot deny what has already been claimed in the unseen. The claim is law, and law is unbothered by appearances. Every claim made with unwavering conviction carries its own gravity. It draws into orbit everything needed to make the unseen visible. This is why some people seem to move through life as if doors open effortlessly. They have claimed what they desire. They have owned it within themselves long before it showed up outside. The outer world simply follows their inner authority. Claiming your good is also an act of remembrance. You are not convincing the universe. You are remembering who you are and what is already yours in the infinite field of possibility. The universe is not withholding anything. It waits for your recognition. The claim is the recognition. It is the moment you say, I see it, I accept it, I take it now. This is the language the unseen understands. Not begging, not hoping, not waiting. Claiming, standing, owning. You move as if it is already done, because in the unseen it is. The outer world has no power to deny what the inner world has already accepted. The claim becomes the foundation, the center of gravity, the quiet authority that bends reality without force or struggle. To claim your good as already yours is to end the separation between you and the thing desired. It is to stand not outside the gate but inside the palace. It is to declare, "This belongs to me," and let the unseen do the arranging. The moment you claim, the vibration changes, and when the vibration changes, the outer must obey. What is claimed in the invisible becomes the invisible anchor that pulls the visible into place. Many will look at the outer evidence and say nothing has changed. But the one who has claimed knows the change happened the moment the claim was made. Everything after that is merely the unfolding of what is already secured. This is why claiming carries such quiet power. It does not fight. It does not plead. It simply stands as law. It is the still voice that moves mountains. The claim does not need to be repeated endlessly, because true ownership does not beg for proof. Once claimed, you move through your days with the steady knowing that what belongs to you cannot be denied. You stop living in lack and start living in possession. The outer world may take its time to adjust, but the claim is already settled. The unseen is already aligned. The rest is only the unfolding of what has already been declared as yours.